About 7,000 people die each year in Spain because of the diseases caused by air pollution. Spain is not enough documented about pollution, but the information that is available is enough to establish a high level of concern. But in this case, we believe that social aspects are related to the environment and pollution. Corruption, cuts and privatization of the environment, the waste of public money, and energy poverty are some of the main public concerns. Most of the time they are discussed in economic terms, although their direct relationship with the environment is a real request. For example, while the life of polluting installation is extended, thousands of people are affected by toxic emissions and discharges. Workers and populations close to these plants suffer high rates of diseases originating from pollution, while healthcare services are cut. Cases of corruption are already counted by hundreds, and behind them remain the impacts to the environment with natural spaces full of contaminated soil by illegal burials of dangerous products, among others. As a result, we find reports that people die from the pollution of the country or the toxic gases that cars emit. In comparison to the rest of the world, Spain it is not the most polluted country. Our air quality is between good and intermediate, but Madrid is in preventive warning. That's where the largest amount of air pollution in the country is. There is a fairly noticeable fog, and this is where there are more cases of death due to this problem.
The quality of the metropolitan area of Barcelona has once again attracted the critical eye of the European Commission. This Wednesday, he has issued a final warning to 5 states, including Spain, to lower levels of nitrogen dioxide in 2 months. And Brussels puts the focus on the 2 main sites. Pollution levels are worrisome in Madrid and in Barcelona and its metropolitan area, especially the Baix Llobregat. The rest of Catalonia is quite controlled, allows Barcelona with the number of the inhabitants and tourists, it's difficult to fight against pollution. If states do not meet pollution reduction targets, the European Commission warns that it can go to the European Court of Justice to act against them. The data that the Commission gives on the impact of nitrogen dioxide in the air on society are sufficient evidence for warnings to go to court. The premature deaths by NO2 in Europe ascended to 70,000 according to the data of 2013 that tripled the deaths of deaths by traffic accidents in all the continent. Only in Barcelona, according to the city council, 3,500 people die every year due to poor air quality.
Manresa is one of the most historic city and Catalonia destination for travels. Let's make pollution a core problem with our city controlling done everything possible to make it a better city. There is not much information possible about pollution here, unless to be a small city. We can see a big difference between Manresa and Barcelona. Barcelona is a very big city. Compared to Manresa, in addition to the air index, you can see a noticeable difference.
Recycling is a way to reduce pollution because we take advantage of resources and avoid some manufacturing processes that generate harmful gases. Using public transport contributes to a single vehicle carrying many people, so we pollute less than if each one goes in his own car. Sharing transportation is also a good way to reduce pollution. If we think about changing the car, it is best to choose one of low consumption or electric. In case we prefer a traditional one, we must bear in the mind that diesel is the most polluting. All vehicles need revisions at least once a year. In this way, we can verify that ours does not contaminate more than what is allowed, and we will repair it immediately if we detect any irregularity. When you are going to use products with sprays, such as those used to kill mosquitoes, make sure that the packaging is respectful with the environment and therefore does not release greenhouse gases. This is the symbol that indicates that is an ecological container. Try not to waste the water. Showering instead of bathing, using taps to save water, or have a double flush system in the toilet are some simple and useful measures to achieve it.
No ignoring us, got 20,000 deep up in the street like we some warriors. My mama told me never bow your head.
I feel glorious, glorious. Got a chance to start again. I was born for this, born for this. It's who I am, how could I forget? I made it through the darkest part of the night, and now I see the sunrise. Now I feel glorious, glorious, glorious. I feel glorious, glorious.
Do you know how dangerous air pollution is?
It kills around 7 million people each year.
It is one of the largest things in the world. Do you know how many trees are cut every year?
We cut around 50,000 million trees each year.
The problem is that the trees are the machine to keep us alive. Do you know all the health problems that it causes?
Most of the illnesses are increasing and not slowly.
Now it is easier to fall sick. Do we know our future?
Our future will be bad if we don't act.
It depends on what we do.
Glorious, I feel glorious, glorious. Glorious, I feel glorious, glorious.
There are many things that can cause air pollution. Burning of fossil fuels in the city. Unfortunately, Romania is in top 10 of the most polluted countries in Europe. In Bucharest, pollution has a very high percent because there are lots of cars in the suburbs of Bucharest because there are some factories producing smoke which is harmful for our beloved city. The factories are producing a great deal of smog that is heavily contributing to global warming.
Deforestation in the city and the surroundings. Quality-wise, forests have suffered a lot. Even though they count as forested areas, These places have been severely trimmed down or completely removed without any chances of regeneration. But there are still forests that have been taken care of properly and which are still helping the environment. Between 1990 and 2011, hundreds of thousands of hectares of Romanian forests were deforested, both by private companies and the government. About 90,000 hectares of woodland disappeared over a period of 4 years and the reforestation process started. The cost of that operation has now reached about 2 billion euros, and that's only paying for replanting half of the affected areas. There are still hundreds of hectares that nobody's taking care of. We are still under European average for forested areas by 8%, but that's not really something bad.
I'll talk about smoking. Smoking cigarettes releases a lot of toxins. This pollutes the air and harms the animal and human life. But did you know that cigarettes are made from tobacco leaves that originally absorb all their carbon from the atmosphere as they grew? When you smoke them, you're just returning this carbon, so the net effect is zero. But tobacco agriculture also generates greenhouse gases of its own in the form of CO2 from the diesel used in farm machinery and the NO2 from fertilizer, not to mention the CO2 attributed to packaging, distribution and advertising.
Indoors, there are several sources of biological contaminants like cooling towers, air handling system condensate, damp organic materials, porous wet materials, humidifier, hot water systems, plants, food and food products.
Natural causes can influence air quality also. Dust pollution. This pollution comes from unusual cracks in the superficial layers of the ground. When the wind lifts up the particles, they make superficial tornadoes that can cause health problems to several individuals. This phenomenon has been encountered in our country too.
So we are going to talk about haze and acid rain. Haze often occurs when the smoke and dust particles accumulate in the dry air. When weather conditions block the dispersal of smoke and other pollutants, they concentrate and form usually low-hanging shroud that impairs visibility and may become a respiratory health threat. Industrial pollution can result in dense haze, which is known as snow. Air pollution is most common in large cities where emissions from many different sources are concentrated. Sometimes mountains or tall buildings prevent air pollution from spreading out.
Acid rain is rain or any type of precipitations that is unusually acidic, meaning that it has elevated levels of hydrogen ion, low pH. It can have harmful effects on plants, aquatic animals, and infrastructures. Acid rain is caused by emission of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide, which reacts with the water molecules in the atmosphere to produce acids. Acid rain has been shown to have adverse impacts on forests, freshwaters, and soils, killing insects and aquatic life forms, causing paint to peel, corrosion of steel structures such as bridges, and weathering of stone buildings and statues, as well as having impacts on human health.
I'm going to talk about the effects of air pollution on humans. The air pollution has got several negative effects on humans. First off, it can reduce their lifespan and even cause death in some cases. Several million people die per year because of air pollution. It can also lead to us not having enough oxygen and even breaking the ozone layer in the atmosphere, which among others cause more sunburns, including some really bad ones.
The effects of air pollution on plants. Exposure to the vehicle exhaust impacts plant structure by delaying the flowering of exposed plants, as reported in the study published in the journal Environmental Pollution. A stressed plant will not flower but rather will use its resources to survive the threat. The study also noted an increase in plant aging. Because of the concentration of emissions, plants in the urban environment were identified to be at the greatest risk.
The effects of air pollution on animals. Because of the air pollution, not only the animals are affected, but their food too, and as a consequence, some of them choose to live. This leads to a dysfunctional food chain, and animals could face the possibility of not finding food and dying. Other bad consequence can be a dysfunction of this reproductive system, so many species can even disappear, and all of this because of the air pollution.
Every time we drive to school, use our heater or air conditioner, even we style our hair, we make choices that affect the environment. My friends here will talk about things we all can do to help reduce air pollution.
Conserve the energy. Avoid using computers, electricity, and applications that affect the environment.
Use energy efficient light bulbs and appliances.
Avoid to use a car.
Hi eTwinners, we're here at the Greenpeace office in Bucharest and we're about to talk to Alin, who is the climate and energy campaigner about air pollution in Bucharest and Romania. Hi, hello.
Hi, my name is Alin. I'm a climate and energy campaigner for Greenpeace Romania, and my hobbies are biking and I don't know. I went to the geography university, so I'm a geographer by profession. And as I told you, I'm a climate and energy campaigner for Greenpeace and working for the energy transition in Romania. And that means going from fossil fuels like oil, coal and gas to 100% renewable energy, which can be solar, wind or geothermal or whatever that is.
Right, so if you could ask anything from the higher ups and had all the funds necessary, what are 3 things you would ask and how would you implement them?
Well, I have 3 things in my mind, and the first one is the energy transition, and the second one the transport transition, and the third one is the waste management problem. So the first one, the energy transition, is about going from fossil fuels to renewable energy, and that can be done with the help of storage facilities like batteries that you have in your electric car. So now the transport transition would be about electrifying all the transport, and I'm talking about cars, first of all, boats and planes.
What do you think is the best way of making everybody aware of pollution?
Well, we in Greenpeace are also thinking at that question, and our way of thinking is that we can make the pollution topic aware to the other people by the health angle, and I'm talking about the pollution that does not recognize borders. So if there is a coal power plant in Romania that produces a lot of dust and a lot of pollutants, it's not that it's only polluting Romania, it's also polluting Bulgaria and some other countries because the pollution is traveling very far. Also, you can have some episodes in the summer where you have the Sahara dust getting in Bucharest or something like that. So yeah, I guess everybody should be aware that their health is in danger because of pollution, and what they can do is, I don't know, be an active citizen first of all and demand for clean air, and that can be through a petition or a protest or whatever that be. And in the end, I don't know, if you want to do more than that, you can download predictive outdoor pollution applications, or you can build your monitoring device by yourself. And that's what we did with Greenpeace this year. We had an open source project where we built a couple of dust meter, we call them, and they were spread around the country monitoring the dust that it's in Romania, and the data was sent to our website so people can see there what are the level of pollution that is happening.
Hi eTwinners, we are about to interview the mayor of the first district and his councillor about the first stage of our project, air pollution.
Sunt Manuela Mureșan, consilier local în cadrul primăriei sectorului 1 București. Cred că este o influențare reciprocă. Faptul că oamenii nu sunt educați și nu sunt informați crește gradul de poluare. Gradul de poluare al aerului afectează calitatea vieții. așa că cred că trebuie început de la educație.
În București, nivelul de poluare este foarte ridicat din punctul meu de vedere, iar primăria municipiului București consideră că nu face absolut nimic în acest sens. Circulația autovehiculelor este haotică. Vă dați seama că emisiile acestor autovehicule este mult peste ceea ce noi suportăm.
Pentru că problema se poate rezolva de sus, dar în primul rând trebuie rezolvată prin educație. Oamenii trebuie să aibă educație. Și educația se face foarte greu. Chiar când ești părinte îți dai seama că se face greu, cu toate că e copilul tău și e alături de tine. Dar să faci educația unor oameni pe care nu-i stăpânești și care de multe ori nu ascultă ce le spui, e o mare problemă.
Have you ever participated in a project or something like that to stop or reduce the air pollution?
No, I have never been. No, in Athens we don't have that much, for the air pollution and activities and all that.
Would you like to?
Yeah.